Paris, 51 black women and girls have either gone missing or been found dead after disappearing over the past 20 years in Chicago. A new radio series talks with family members of these victims who are now looking at grassroots efforts to help find answers after cases have gone cold with the police. The series also examines why, with so many women missing, coverage and attention on the cases has seemed minimal. Joining us now with more is CANDACE McCollum, morning news anchor at WVON, and she's also hosting and producing this series. CANDACE, welcome and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me this evening. Thank you.
So this series has 5 parts. Walk us through how you covered this.
Absolutely. So, yes, 5 parts. The first day, which started airing today at 6:50 a.m., we talk about really the statistics of Black women who have gone missing in Chicago and in the United States as well. We talk about the discrepancies of how our white counterparts, women and girls, how they have been viewed over media, how they're talked about on media as far as they get national attention. And we're trying to figure out how come our women and girls do not get the same. A lot of times when you do hear about the Gabby Petito's or John Benet Ramsey, Natalie Holloway, they get hour-long specials. They get their stories are romanticized, they get humanized, but our girls don't get humanized. So we go through that in episode 1. We talked to Professor John Fountain, who also has a project highlighting these women as well. Episode 2, which airs on Tuesday, we talked to John Hargrove of the Murder Accountability Project, and he goes into the thoughts of there possibly being a serial killer or two in Chicago. And he talks about the algorithm that he came up with to detect these clusters in Chicago and other nearby cities like Gary, where he has helped solve murders as well.
And CANDACE, you say that, you talk about how the coverage that some of these cases may or may not have gotten. Why do you think there hasn't been much attention on some of these cases?
Well, speaking to everybody that I talk to, they say that it all boils down to race. Now, if you go a little bit deeper, there's a term, as I was doing my research, called adultification, where I learned that society looks at Black women and girls as in less need of nurturing. They don't look at us as victims. They look at us as people who know more about sex. So they look at us differently than they do our white counterparts. And I think that breaks it down to just deeper than just saying it's just race.
You also spoke to some of the families of some of these women who have been killed or gone missing. What do those families have to say?
The families are still heartbroken. They want answers. They feel like the Chicago police has not done enough. I talked to the mother of Kiera Coles. She revealed to me that the police haven't even spoke to the man who was the father of her daughter's unborn child. And that's not right, because normally that would be the first person he would talk to. There just doesn't seem to be an urgency, or when they ask questions, they're told, we don't have enough information, we'll get back to you. When somebody first goes missing, oh, well, that's just normal. There's not an urgency. And we want that same urgency. Yes, our missing white girls and women, yes, their lives matter as well, but we want that same attention for our Black girls and Black women. We want to humanize them. These were sisters, these were mothers, cousins, grandmothers. They have stories as well.
And CANDACE, some families, you say they are calling for grassroots efforts to solve these cases. What would they like to see?
They would like to see task forces. And so that's when, I was able to talk to Cam Buckner, Bobby Rush, who recently wants to create a task force. He asked Merrick Garland to be a part of that. He also has spoken to Christopher Wray from the FBI. And he really feels like this administration can be an ally to what he's trying to do, not only in Chicago, but also across the United States. Because yes, there is a problem in Chicago with missing Black women and girls, but this is also across the United States. Doing my research, they said there's an estimated 64,000 Black women in the United States who have just vanished without a trace.
64,000, that's a sobering number.
Absolutely.
What response did you receive from the Chicago Police Department or even the mayor's office as you were doing your research?
I have not heard anything from either. I think this go around, we just wanted to focus on who these women were. I did reach out though, but no, but I didn't hear anything. But this go around, we just wanted to focus on the women. So in the beginning of each episode, I call out their names, 10 women per episode, just because I want to make these names household. Yes, we know about Diamond and Tianda, we know about Kiara Coles, but I talked about Nancy Walker, Gwendolyn Williams. These are names that may not be, people may not be familiar with. So I highlighted those.
And you say this go round, do you expect this is something that you'll continue to cover?
Absolutely. I expect for this to just be the beginning. We can do another 5-part series, and I would love to talk to officials and find out why these cases haven't been solved, why are families feeling like they're not doing enough. So now you have community organizations like COCO who are, like I said, the grassroots level where they're hitting the pavement and they're having marches every year. And that was started by a young girl who I believe was just 12 years old. And she felt like with all of these women that are missing, she was afraid to go outside. And so she just decided to just come up with a march to continue to highlight these women and put their names out there.
Right, raising awareness as you're doing.
Raising awareness, absolutely.
Right.
So
as you're doing,
like,
Candace McCollum. Sorry, we are actually out of time, but thank you so much, Candace McCollum. All the best.
Thank you so much for having me.